Oh, we are back. We are back with
Woohoo!
Twyla and Sue and Get Sold. And we were discussing a lot of cool stuff. We were actually, Twyla brought up Soul, my pup here, and she could actually see what type of soul he was. That it was actually more of a person soul. That was really cool. And by the way, this is a little plug here, but this is a blanket I made of soul for my fabric designs.
Oh, that's cute.
So I made
I
that
like that.
for the kids years ago before he passed. So, anywho, um, all right. Oh, here we go. Wow. Anything else go wrong? I don't. Let's not ask that question. All right.
Somebody's just trying to get our attention, probably.
I don't doubt that because I don't doubt that.
Yeah, I don't doubt that either. The way today has gone, I would not surprise me at all. At all.
Mm-mm. So what Twyla and I have been doing kind of like is raising our vibe, to share with you all, but also just kind of winging it, just kind of going where we need to go, sharing things maybe of interest to other folks. I love it when Twyla actually uses her gifts and pulls things through, which is really neat. Um, so where do you want to go now?
Um, I would like to talk about, I feel like this is going to be an elephant in the room, so maybe brace yourself. But I want to talk about your feelings towards your mom.
Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that because she has been coming up a lot. Because a lot of the topics that I was going to talk about on my Get Sold channel, just to have it said, not necessarily that I haven't healed from it or that um, let me just leave it at that. But um, I did find out that my mom and I actually in another lifetime were rivaling sisters. And I have good information that hopefully the next lifetime we will actually be friendly towards one another. But this lifetime was not good. And I'm still climbing out of that hole, um, if that makes sense. So is she coming through to say something?
Yeah. So, I guess because of this moon is essentially what I'm understanding from her is that she would like to make some kind of amends. Um mm, so like she wants to apologize. I'm probably gonna cry. I'm very sorry. Um she wants to apologize for mm, the things she did to you when you were young, those we'll call them nasty things. Not only just like the words, but the physical things. Um, and I don't, okay, so I don't think, I know you weren't her only, we'll call it a victim. You were not the only one she preyed upon. Um, and I, I'm hearing like, um, she needs or would like to ask you if you would consider forgiveness for her.
Yes.
Um, at this point, I think she wants you to forgive yourself, and she also wants you to know that those none of those things, the yuckiness that happened, were not your fault. That was her and the issues she brought from her own journey in this life and many others, and that she had some kind of contract to get back at you for it's a long list. I mean, it's like I'm seeing like when like if you see like a Santa and the paper unfolds and it just goes on for infinity. It's like one of those lists, and each item just gets progressively worse.
Yeah.
Um, but I think so punishments have been completed at this point, and she's going to go into what I would call like a rest state,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
until her new contract is ready, which won't be done until yours is ready.
Okay.
There won't be like there's nothing between now and until you're ready for your new contract,
Okay.
which you will discuss your roles together.
Yeah.
It's going to be a together agreement.
Yeah.
Um, and so what I'm hearing is, so she's like begging, like, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please know what I was doing. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm just so sorry. Um,
Darn
and
it.
I also understand that she wants to make it a point that she repeated the things that happened to her on you, and that's not okay, and she understands that. She also understands that she should have had better self-control, and she wants you to close this chapter. This is a good time to close this chapter, and she understands your feelings towards her, and she wants you to know that those are okay, that she understands you're still angry and hateful and almost vengeful towards her, and that she doesn't want you to have to feel that way anymore. She would like a fresh start with you, where you guys can be friendly and
Yeah.
live in love and not anger. And she also wants me to make a point of some kind of dark magic you did on her in the past. And she's showing me like it's like a jar, and like candles are being broken
Hmm.
and they're being buried, and it's over
That's
and like
that's wonderful. I mean, I knew like she's come through a lot, but mo mostly to Ingrid, Miss Ingrid, and I know I had done things to her in other lifetime too, other lifetimes. So it was like we were going back and forth in these lifetimes. It's just this was a lifetime where I was acutely aware of how she felt about me. Like even from the womb on down, like I knew she just didn't want me in this lifetime, so I had to go through understanding like the human side of her in this lifetime, but there were some residual scars that I'm still trying to work through now, like the body dysmorphic stuff. Like she was highly sexual being, which I understood the good side of it, but when you're over sexualized as a child, it really messes you up. And those
yeah,
are the things that I've had to heal from and still kind of healing from, like not no self-acceptance, the body and all that stuff. So those are things I'm working on. And but I mean I do know that it's been a rivalry for many lifetimes. And I do forgive her because I know it's always a two-way street. Like with any of us, our soul contracts, we don't realize why a person does what they do to us until we start going back in lifetimes, which is
yeah,
really a good topic because a lot of people close down the whole karmic theory and just be like, oh, that's just mumbo jumbo. But they don't understand that's a lot of how you think and what you do with someone and when you judge or not judge or whatever. I mean, it's in your very core with that person. So I felt like when I was young, she was always trying to compete with me, that she really didn't have a use for me because I was just in the way between her and my dad. Now he had something to focus on, which was me now. Now this is the only girl. And then I could just feel such hatred growing up. Like she would engage my older brother in taunting me and things like that. And I think at that time she sort of enjoyed it, like and him and I would like battle, like boo, 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 and I didn't care if I lost 100 times, I was still going for it. And I know that that energy sort of like fed her in a way. But I don't want to hang on to any of that. because I know better, you know?
Good.
So I absolutely understand. I think she got married too young, and I think that she never knew how to go after her dreams and goals. And I think that makes a person angry and vengeful towards, especially having a daughter. Like I couldn't imagine having that relationship with my daughter. My daughter's like this beautiful, angelic being. And by all rights, if I were my mother, I would be jealous and hateful and whatever of how gorgeous she is. But I never felt like that. I always wanted to help her be more self-confident,
Yeah.
But but
I
those
do know that a lot of her feelings towards you really stem from that jealousy. So jealous, so jealous. And she also asked me to make it a point to let you know that this somersault like role you guys have been on, she initiated because she was originally jealous with you.
Oh wow. Wow.
Like I can hear her like she was always the pretty one, the cool one, the good one. I'm always like left behind.
No.
I don't know why I put that voice on there. That was
It's
really
kind of funny too because she was a little bit like that with her own sister. Like she would take her sister's shoes and wear them, and it was almost like, she wouldn't like that entitlement feeling because she would tell me
yeah,
these stories too with my Aunt Bev, like taking her dresses or her clothes or whatever, and you know. But I think the hardest part for me was her not realizing that when I was young, I had to get out of my house, and so I took my old Maverick car and I would put $5 of gas in there and I would just drive as fast as I could, hoping something would happen to me, hoping that I didn't have to be here to deal with all of this. So
yeah,
she thought I was having fun living my life, in a way that she wanted to, but I wasn't. I was on a path of self-destruction because I couldn't understand if my own parents are this way with me, there's nobody in the world that's gonna care about me. Why would I
yeah.
think they would, right? So when your own mother doesn't like you, where do you go from there? I know this sounds kind
It's
of,
not. I want to make it really clear that it was never that she didn't like you.
yeah, I
She
was
didn't
jealous,
like the parts of her she saw in you.
of course. And wow.
But she does tell me that there was love there.
Yeah,
There is love, but it's very clouded by jealousy and the reflection of her parts that she didn't like, you
yeah,
know,
yep,
and she was not a person of the shadows. She always felt like she was in the shadows and she wanted to be the forefront, but her jealousy really just consumed her and filled her with hate. It does that. It takes over. And she's it's not like a justification or anything. I
no,
don't want anybody to
right.
think that it is, but it is the I started this thousands and thousands of years ago and I let it consume me in every single life. And I punished you in every single life for being free, beautiful, and wonderful. You had all the best parts of me that I didn't get to have.
And I feel like that in a sense with my daughter in a way, but I don't hate her for it. I'm happy for her. I want her to succeed. I want her to be everything that I couldn't make it to be. Because I'm still trying. And at least she's got, more time than I do to get it right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't think I also okay, so she's gonna move out
Thank you,
and
Mom. I
go
do love
away.
you and I do forgive you. And I just want us to be at peace. I do love you. And if I talk about you on my videos, just know that it's with love. It's just to clear the air, so to speak, of what I've had to deal with. But I absolutely love you and I absolutely forgive you. Thank you.
Okay, so her leaving note is she always admired how you were able to love above all. She never had that. She didn't know how to do that. And it was what she admired most about you, even though she never verbally said it, is she admired that part of you a lot. That was the one thing that she was never able to do was love unconditionally. And you have a relationship with your daughter that she, when she was pregnant, she wanted that with you.
Oh,
And she just wasn't able to because of her jealousy and rage.
Wow.
Sorry for that.
Well, I appreciate that so much because I think it will release a lot of stuff in me just hearing that. And thank you, Twyla, for bringing her in and bringing that forward. Wow.
Thank you for letting me into your space. That was a lot. And I think now you can release a little bit today, I hope.
I absolutely can, because I'm still trying to put the pieces together. Um, I know how to do a lot of these spiritual things, but it's still rebuilding a life. You know what I mean? Like it's still like this is where I begin living now, like really living. So much work has done crashing down the old stuff through these various processes, and cutting cords, dark night of the soul, shadow work, all of that stuff, even a karmic twin flame, all to smash it all down. And yeah,
So let me ask you, um, not right now, but in the next couple of days, I want you to go into yourself and ask what has brought that to you. What being is hoping you stay suppressed?
okay, I want to write this down just so I can, you know, um, okay, so ask the question again.
What being is pushing me down? What being is bringing all this into your energetic space? Because I think it's a being,
Okay.
not just, like the dark night of the soul and the shadow work and stuff. I feel there's something hidden somewhere that we might need to attack, if you
Okay.
know
Yep.
what I'm saying.
I do, because that's been apparently I have talked about a little bit of that on a couple of my older videos about being taught, and it is such a relevant thing. I think we should have a whole discussion on it actually, because we can be I say the word attack, but we're not really victims. We're not, we infiltrated, I don't know, shown a lesson. And I've been, as you know, I had to clear my dad's house. I had to clear myself of these beings like messing with my brain and my heart and all that stuff. And I had to go get some like etheric ER, whatever you're, So I think that's a good topic to, eventually talk about, if not now or tonight or whatever, but how people can move forward when, in this case, I'm thinking it's all of these things, but you're picking up on something that's actually kind of gnawing at me.
Yeah, it's like a corkscrew.
Yeah.
It's just going deeper and deeper and deeper and brings more of that heaviness and yuckiness. And I'll refer to it as hitchhikers. We pick up hitchhikers. We pitch up. Oh my God, pick up hitchhikers through our travels. We pick up curses and hexes that are made by other people that maybe they want to get back at us or send us that negativity, or have those even people that might be our friends that might have some kind of subconscious negativity being thrown at us. These are things that we need to be careful of. These are things we need to be vigilant for. And I get hitchhikers all the time. I hate it. It drives me bananas because I'm always like, haha. And then I'll be like, and I'm like, that's not me.
I tell you that time when you saw that
Yeah.
thing jump into me and then I coughed and you're like, your face. And I was just like, oh, good thing I couldn't
I
see it.
was
I would have freaked out.
so annoyed at it too. I was like, I know you didn't think you were going to come around here. Wow. Like, I'm here, but Ingrid's here. Are you silly? Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I've got, uh, how do I say it? Beast Fighter in one hand, and then I've got like Creator Source, right hand man on the other. It's like, no, no, they're not going to get me. But you had to tell me that I had to tell it to go because yeah. I mean, that was crazy, but it was so funny watching your face that day because you're watching the doorway and you're just like, and then I sit there and I'm like the magnet, and you're just like, oh no.
I saw it. I just like, I knew, I love when they're like trying to be sneaky. They'll like peek around corners. They'll be like, hmm, hmm. Like, I don't see you. Like, I don't know you're there. Like, I don't know you're going to try to come around the other door. Like, I have eyes. Eye.
I can laugh about it now because I'm understanding as you both are telling me that this is what I'm learning. I'm learning about these entities and how it feels to have them in you and how it's really a very putrid feeling,
It is. Isn't it so gross? It's like slimy.
yeah, and you just feel so dark and you're like, wait, why did I think that? Or why am I feeling this? And unless like I knew the last one that happened that followed the two that followed me home from my dad's house, after I'd done all that work, it's like I knew immediately that they were just doing things to me, disconnecting my heart from my brain from my heart and all that. And I literally was not afraid. And I literally just said, okay, send me four angels with a gurney, and I'm gonna put myself on it. We're gonna go get this fixed. But when they creep up on me like that, and you're watching it jump at me, and I'm like, I'm like, wait, I didn't even see that one coming. You know, that's the lesson, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That's learning how to
Yeah.
identify what that energy feels like. And I'll tell you what, um, my family member that just came back from England just had an experience where I don't want to name any names or anything, but there was something that came through in a person and actually scratched them.
Yeah.
And when the family member was like, well, the family member closed up their spiritualness a while ago. Sometimes you have to do that to live, to get to the next step or whatever. But they were going, I saw the scratches. I saw the scratches. And so it's a real thing. People kind of want to just be like, oh, that's just in the movies and stuff. Or they just want to talk about the ghosts. But there's
Yeah.
all this negative energy and beings out there that are just looking to steal from us. And
Yeah.
again, I don't want to sound like we're victims, but it's to teach us that, right? It's to teach us to recognize,
Great.
to know that energy and to know what's ours and what ain't,
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, I want to be clear for people who maybe don't have abilities, they don't know to ask themselves, this is not me. Is this me? What is
Yeah.
this? Like, they don't know to ask themselves and go inside and really look. And
Nope.
it makes you a lot more vulnerable.
Yes. Yes.
So when you are feeling negativity or you feel like maybe something has come into your space, I want to alliterate for our viewers that it's really important to ask yourself those questions. Is this really me? Is this me feeling this, or is this something that's come into my energetic space? Is this another being? Are these ideas my own? And even with a lot of psychics and mediums, sometimes they forget to ask themselves that stuff. And it's really important to do that, because that's how we recognize that it's time to, bring in that source light, that creator energy, that golden white light, and, like bug zap them, just let them explode. They have to go back.
It's almost like to me, I don't know, I just had this picture in my head of like to make it a little more, I don't know, fathomable maybe, is like when you eat over the holidays or for a long period of time, you just eating junk, 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 junk. After a while, you start to feel sluggish. You start to feel like, ugh, you don't want to do anything,
Yeah.
slows you down. And then by the amount of junk that you're eating, you get depressed, and you don't realize that you need a good detox. So I kind of feel like it's like that in a sense, that feeling of you're going to start feeling like run down and no reason. Like you're just kind of like, why do I feel this way? So good point, good direction. I almost think that's a great place to start or talk about because it's like 101. It's like how you feel 101. Is it
Yeah.
you? Does it belong to something else? And if it belongs to something else, just as you're saying, ask in about it. Even if you feel dumb, like going in your bed going,
Yeah.
all right, is that in me? You know?
There are no stupid questions. There are none, especially when you're working inner. Um, that's a judgment-free zone. So if you feel stupid, that's the place to feel it. That's okay because there's a reason you're feeling that and you're gonna figure it out.
Yep.
So definitely ask those questions. It's really important and it could protect you and save you a lot of heartache and grief. And it could also keep your family safe.
Yeah, definitely. Do you feel like and this is just a really basic, again, 101 kind of question, that animals pick up on this and that they sort of are indicators. Like if you picked up a
Yeah.
hitchhiker, for example, and you walk in your house and you got a cat or a dog or something, are they going to look
Yes.
at you like you got three heads? Are they going to, how are they going to sound the alarm or something?
For me with my animals, there's a constant just like train of people that come in and out of my, I guess we'll call it an aura field. And so my personal rule is if my cats are okay, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you will see your cats will change. Like if my cat is yelling at something, I know that I immediately need to say GTFO or banish. And I do a lot of clapping banishing. One,
Yeah.
two, three, I banish thee.
Mhm.
It's a really good way just using sound. It's quick, it's effective, it's easy. You don't have to like find the name or anything. It works well.
I, yeah, I think
And
yeah, what I don't mean to interrupt. Real quick, one thing I had to learn was the difference between sending somebody back to the light and getting rid of something that
yeah,
is there to harm you. Well, like sending them back to the light is with love and,
yeah,
compassion and all that and asking for them to be released back in. But if this is a thing that,
yeah.
it's in your repertoire to learn or whatever, because again, I don't want to sound like people are victims. Uh, then we have to be more aggressive. That's what I learned from
Yeah.
just the most recent um,
So
visitation.
I will say my rule is I will match whatever energy is coming at me. If you are aggressive, angry, and high, I'm going to come at you at that same energy. And you can bet, my hands will be up and I will be manipulating that energy and I will watch you explode into 1,000 pieces, but don't come at me with, 110 because I'm going to come back at you with 150, you
Yeah,
know?
was my this was still part of my learning because I did, how do I say this? When Soul 2K was talking about broken souls and he called them beasts on that first recording we did, and he explained it as people who couldn't get off the karmic cycle. So now they're coming back and they're just broken, and so they resonate with negativity. They're just those
Yeah.
people that, and he had said that in relationship to a friend of his who had hit him, and he did not respond with hitting back. He responded with love. And it was like, wow, yeah, isn't this what we're all supposed to be learning? But I guess because he was in human form, that's you can do that. But when you're talking about an energetic spiritual realm, it's a little different, maybe. Where you
Right.
have to, yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that.
okay,
When you're definitely dealing with something darker, it's really important to not yourself be negative in your approach.
yeah, okay,
If that makes sense. Like you don't want to be like, I hate you, get out. You want to be like, get out.
okay,
I'm firm, but
gotcha.
I'm not hateful or angry.
Yeah, because you're just gonna rile, you're gonna give it what it wants, essentially,
Right.
right?
You don't want to give it what it wants, but you still have to be firm and you have to come at it with that same energy.
Okay,
And
yeah,
or that's at least what I do. Um And I mean, it took a long time before I understood. And my experience is the first time when I had experienced darker things, I was
Yep.
12. I didn't know what I was doing. I had to rely on whatever I just knew,
Right.
you know?
Um,
And
how much time do you have left before you have to quit for the evening?
I have like 5 minutes.
Okay, because I think we're gonna be running out again. This thing I think ends at 35 minutes because it just gave me the warning again. So if you're up for it, we can go again tomorrow night or something.
Yeah.
But we got some good stuff going on here, so this way we won't be shut off automatically again. And
Yeah.
and
Let's
maybe
do
this
tomorrow
is
night. I'm good with that. I have
all
to go
right.
pick up my poor husband from work.
Okay. All right, so we'll end here and then we're gonna just keep going with these conversations as we can find time and whatever happens, happens during them. So we have visitors
Yeah.
or we have whatever, we'll just deal with it. But I do want to thank you publicly for bringing mom in because it has been on my mind a lot lately and I'm still healing from a lot of that trauma. So thank you, and I do forgive her. And we'll keep going with this, with
I
all
want
this.
to thank you for inviting me. This is so much fun. And I want to say to everybody who is dealing with this full moon and the energies that it's coming up, especially in regards to family and especially feminine family, apparently.
Yes,
I wish you luck, love, and light.
perfect.
Yeah.
We'll end there. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye.